brought to you by generous donations from the community and sponsored by Stifel Financial.
Good evening, Nevada County. I'm Keith Overby, your host for tonight's edition of Nevada County Now. A community is not just a place where people live. It's a place where people belong, where they feel supported, and where they can contribute to something larger than themselves. I'm often reminded by a quote by Helen Keller when I look at all of our community does. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Now, don't go away. Come right back. We're going to have a short sponsor break. We'll be right back. Our guest tonight is going to be Tom Ivy, the city council person from Grass Valley. We'll be right back.
Thank you to Stifel Financial, proudly helping individuals pursue financial goals, businesses and organizations raise and protect capital, and communities offer a higher quality of life. To learn more, visit www.stifel.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Nevada County is one of the highest performing public entities in the entire state of California. People look to Nevada County as an example of how to get things done. The county staff works daily to improve the lives of those who live here, and it's always a mixed bag of emotions to see them move on. And one such employee who's moving on is Mike Dent, the Director of Housing and Child Support Services. Mike has worked for Nevada County for 30 years and will be missed as he steps into the world of retirement. He began his career in Nevada County as a correctional officer, later moving to the probation department where he collaborated with community partners to serve at-risk children. He then became Director of Social Services, where he helped reduce a backlog of applications related to the Affordable Care Act and participated in a statewide effort to reform the out-of-home placement process of youth involved with the court system or welfare. He also served as co-chair of the Fiscal Committee of the statewide Child Welfare Director Association. And under his leadership, Child Support Services in Nevada County ranked among the top 5 performing counties statewide in ensuring families receive the financial assistance they need to thrive. Mike has played an integral part in developing around 200 units of affordable housing, serving hundreds of people, including the Brunswick Commons, Empire Mine Courtyards, Lone Oak Apartments, Cashin's Field, and more. Mike has been a highly respected county employee who has served our community well, and we wish him a happy retirement and a sincere thank you for his years of dedicated service. And the Nevada County Board of Supervisors has adopted the 2024 Local Hazard Mitigation Plan, known as LHMP Update, which was the final step in completing the plan. The plan was already reviewed by the California Office of Emergency Services and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, known as FEMA, which provided a formal approval pending adoption letter verifying that the plan meets all the requirements. And this update was made possible by a FEMA grant awarded to Nevada County in late 2022. To complete this update, OES partnered with 6 planning partners and 9 steering committee organizations, and this plan will be valid for 5 years. The plan is a requirement of the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000 and is needed in order to apply for and/or receive certain types of FEMA funds. It is part of the Nevada County Roadmap to Resilience, which is an effort that aims to prioritize key opportunities for action. The roadmap consists of 3 core plans: the aforementioned LHMP, the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, and an evacuation study. The LHMP specifically outlines risks and vulnerabilities to provide a focal point for actions that can reduce the impact of natural hazards. It includes a countywide mitigation strategy for reducing potential losses based on existing authorities, policies, programs, and resources, as well as jurisdiction-specific annexes. And if you want more information about the LHMP, please visit the readynevadacounty.org/LHMP website. Now take care. We'll be right back. We have a commercial break, but then we'll be back later with Tom Ivy from the Grass Valley City Council.
If you are dining outside at a restaurant and someone is smoking a cigarette or using an electronic smoking device, you are being exposed to secondhand smoke. But what if you're in your own home and a neighbor's smoke is drifting in? Every person should have the right to live in a smoke-free environment to protect their health and the health of their family.
I live in an apartment and my son was coughing more than usual. I realized it was because our neighbor's smoke was affecting him. I tried putting a wet towel under the door and I asked the neighbor to please not smoke inside. He smokes outside sometimes, but the smoke still comes in. I'm really worried about my son's health.
People in our community are facing this problem every day. Often the residents affected live in apartments, condos, or other multi-unit spaces. Many people are unaware that all secondhand smoke is dangerous. This includes smoke from vapes, hookahs, and cannabis too. Take action today to help protect some of our most vulnerable community members from the dangers of secondhand smoke. Let's make living smoke-free an option for all Nevada County residents. Go to smilenevadacounty.com to share your story, get involved, or to find ways to quit. The Nevada County Tobacco Prevention Program is here to help.
Welcome back. And on December 6th, the California Heritage Indigenous Research Project, known as CHIRP, opened to the public a new 4,600-foot segment of the Deer Creek Tribute Trail that crosses their property. CHIRP and the Sierra Fund hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony marking the official opening of the new section of the Deer Creek Tribute Trail constructed on the CHIRP property. It's located along Champion Mine Road. A 5-year project of securing funds, building the trail, designing and installing 2 interpretive signs, removing invasive species, and reducing fuel load resulted in a beautiful dedication to the memory of Nevada City Rancheria's first chairwoman, Virginia Covert, known as Ginger, who recently passed beyond this world. This trail and land restoration was made possible thanks to her unique vision, dedication, and commitment to her tribe. And the partnership in this project brought together many organizations and individuals. It included raising funds to secure the land back to the Nisenan Nevada City Rancheria and CHIRP, as well as receiving a grant for constructing a trail through the property, which CHIRP has named the Nisenan Cultural Reclamation Corridor. The project included the development of a culturally informed land use management plan, creation and installation of 2 interpretive signs, forest ecosystem restoration including fuel load reduction, and wildlife-friendly fencing for safety and public use. The entire Deer Creek Tribute Trail has been a labor of love for many members of this community. And for more information on this section, visit the trail and all of the trail, please visit the Bear River Land Trust website at bylt.org. This, like many projects in the community, reflect what transpires when people collaborate. And the Grass Valley Historical Commission wrapped up their year with a discussion about what they will present in their quarterly report to the council in January. One of the items will be the Historic Walking Tour, which is essentially a historic look at homes and buildings around the downtown area and beyond. The commission also discussed how to present the guidelines and name for the Historical Award, which is awarded annually by City Council to a person or persons who have enhanced the historical significance of the city of Grass Valley, whether through writing, research, or physical enhancement. It was considered naming the award the Howard Levine Historical Award. And for those of you that don't know, Howard Levine was a former city council person, mayor, director of the Downtown Association, and just did a little bit of everything in this community. As a matter of fact, you can see a painting of him on the back of the Del Oro Theater. But instead of naming it after Howard, the commission agreed that the proposal to the city council for the name of Grass Valley Historical Award should not be tied to an individual, due to the fact that there are so many people who have contributed to the historical preservation of Grass Valley. This will go to the city council for discussion, where they will have the final say. They all agreed that finding a way to honor Howard Levine is a must, and they will continue to keep this at the forefront of their conversations. They also discussed bringing some recommendations to the council for the recipients. And other items were discussed as progress updates. The full meeting can be viewed on the Grass Valley YouTube channel, Historical Commission Meeting 12/10/24. And to finish out the year, NID installed a new board president and vice president for 2025. Director Ricky Heck will serve as the board president, and Chris Bierwagen will serve as vice president. Heck, who represents Division 1, which is portions of Nevada City and Grass Valley, and Bierwagen, who represents Division 2, the Chicago Park area, were sworn in at the December 11th board meeting. And NID also welcomes new director rancher Brad Fowler, representing Division 3. He and incumbent director Rich Johansson of Division 5, along with Heck and Bierwagen, will serve the people of our communities. NID managers work to make sure the right amount of water is at the right place at the right time. And this can sometimes be tricky. Weather, human error, the will of the people, and poor planning, which may or may not be of their own doing, are always factors. Water storage is a critical aspect of the job. Artificial lakes called reservoirs are the main source of water that's used to generate electricity or supply water for irrigations and for use in homes and businesses. NID owns and operates 15 dams with different functions and sizes. The largest dam and reservoir is Rollins Lake, which has a water capacity of about 66,000 acre-feet. Jackson Meadows Dam is the tallest at 195 feet. Now, before this week's storm, total reservoir storage was at 171,764 acre-feet. That is 100% of a 10-year average. NID monitors reservoir levels regularly, and lakes include Jackson Meadows, Jackson, Fauchery, Sawmill, Bowman, and Canyon Creek, as well as Scotts Flat and Rollins. Reservoirs are not the only water storage NID manages, but they are also the most crucial. It's important that we respect and protect these vital assets. And visit their website at nidwater.com and check out the many projects they are engaged with, as well as monitoring charts and other information. The NID Board of Directors meetings are held in the district boardroom located at 1036 West Main Street in Grass Valley at 9 a.m. on the second and fourth Wednesdays of each month. They encourage public involvement. Attend a meeting or view online and give them feedback. Community involvement is important. Now don't go away, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Erin Tarr, Executive Director of the Bear Yuba Land Trust. We're a local nonprofit that's been around for 33 years. We've protected over 25,000 acres of land, built over 50 miles of trail, and are always looking for new ways to connect the community with nature.
I'm Sean Clark, and I work on our lands and trails at Bear Yuba Land Trust. We'd love to have you become part of the Land Trust family. You can head on over to bylt.org to become a member, make a donation, or sign up for a volunteer work party, and come help us steward the land.
Hi.
All right. Tom Ivey was born and raised in Nevada County. He graduated from Nevada Union High School and attended UC Santa Cruz, where he earned a degree in environmental studies with a focus in agriculture. In 2008, Tom moved back home and started working in his family's plumbing business, which he continues to this day. He was appointed to the Grass Valley Planning Commission in 2018 and elected to the City Council in 2020. And in 2024, he was just reelected to another term on the Grass Valley City Council. He's here with us today to chat a little bit about his recent appointment and more. So Tom, welcome here. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess, did the background, did I leave anything out that you think I should add about you?
I think that did it. Yeah. I'm a local boy and I came back.
There you go. Most people do. Well, let me ask you this. What led you to public service and what do you wish to accomplish during your time on the council?
That's a great question. I think I was raised by a village here in Grass Valley, Nevada City when I was growing up, and it was an active community, and I loved it, and it did well by me. I had a great upbringing, and I have a great community here, and it instilled in me the passion to move forward with that, to work to provide that same ability for the rest of us. And so I take pride in enjoying this community, and I look forward to working to pass it forward.
Great. So. And let me ask you this. Do you feel that being on the local level plays a role in larger government?
Well, that's a great question. And I don't know the full answer. Our job is mostly local. So I would say most of it stays local, right? It's important that our local government keep a lot of our small issues in front of us so that we can continue to do a good job. Every once in a while, there's the opportunity for us to have a bit of maybe a bigger impact, collaborate with our neighbors to get some sort of common sense, good work done. And but most of it stays local. Yeah. So.
We talked about collaboration with your neighbors. You mean like Nevada City, the county?
That's right.
The unincorporated areas of the county, and well, to an extent, even up in Truckee. How do you collaborate with them on things, or things that you have collaborated with them on?
That's right. Well, let's see. So, regionally, we have our Transportation Commission, where it's absolutely vital that we look at those issues regionally, including Truckee and Western Nevada County as a whole. At a certain point, a lot of issues don't have a city border or a city limit, right? Those issues continue right on over those limits. So it's important that we collaborate every day with Nevada City and Nevada County, and regionally, we're part of the greater Sacramento area. So whether that means working with Pioneer Community Energy, whether that means working with Caltrans on a little bit bigger region, whether and more, right? I can't think of anything else on the tip of my tongue, but it's we got to stay open. Again, we got to run our little city the best way that we can too. So we don't want to lose sight of the local issues that are important. But
yeah. Got to fix the potholes. And
that's right.
Make sure the water comes on, things like that. I got to ask you. You mentioned Pioneer Energy. And I know the city the city of Grass Valley has entered into an agreement with them, and city of Nevada City has too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. But
the county hasn't. What's in it for the people of Grass Valley with Pioneer Energy? I mean, what helps them?
Great question. So what Pioneer Community Energy does is it solely takes the purchasing of electricity and the selling of electricity away from PG&E and gives it to a local office. In this case, that office is in Rockland. And so that office, on behalf of our community and all the communities that are in Pioneer Community Energy Service territory, it sells that electricity to us. Pioneer Community Energy does it at a cheaper price than PG&E, and they do it a little bit greener as well. They reinvest more in our local communities to the tune of, I think we're approaching $100 million in the Pioneer Community Service territory. So that includes Placer County and El Dorado County. So we keep more dollars local with Pioneer Community Energy. What Pioneer Community Energy doesn't do is it doesn't maintain transmission lines. So we still need PG&E to do their part there, and we still pay them to do that. And so we get this bill. If you live in Grass Valley city limits or Nevada City, you get a bill from PG&E, and it's kind of got layers. And so you'll have a little truncated portion that's from Pioneer Community Energy, and we still need PG&E too. So.
Okay. So how do you have an idea, an estimate, how much people are saving roughly on their power? Like, for example, I have a friend of mine who's on the board for a very small utility up in, believe it or not, way up in Modoc County. Surprise Valley Power or something like that. And the people up there are paying like 8 cents a kilowatt hour compared to almost 50 cents an hour that PG&E does.
That sounds nice.
It sounds really nice. But I was wondering, are we seeing any kind of difference with Pioneer in prices? Have you seen, like in your own bill, you live in Grass Valley, so what have you seen on yours?
I haven't checked it recently. I think I was under $20 a month savings. It might have even been closer to 10. So it's marginal, right? Okay. We're not planning a new trip to Europe on the savings or anything like that, but
maybe Modesto.
That's right. But so it's not a deal breaker, right, or a deal maker for that fact. But it's the type of small steps that I think that our residents would like us to keep an eye on.
This day and age, $10 or $20 is $10 or $20.
It all adds up.
It adds up, absolutely. How, as a council member, how can you be impactful solving larger issues? And let me just take them one at a time. Homeless. How can you be impactful helping the homeless program? Lord knows we see a lot of, on the blogs and everything, people are going crazy about the homeless.
That's right.
As a city council member, what do you hope to do about that? Or what do you think you can do?
Right. Well, first off is we're not going to solve it anytime soon, right? So let's admit that, and let's not use that as an excuse not to tackle every single baby step that we can tackle. And as a region, we're coming around. We're doing some small steps. So we've been rezoning property. We've been using resources to build some transitional housing, like we talked about with Mike Dent. We're trying to change the housing equation so that housing gets built ever so slightly easier. Excuse me. And that's what I hope to continue on. Is I hope to make it cheaper and easier to build in Nevada County. I think it's time, and I'm speaking alone right now. I know that many of my colleagues aren't quite here with me yet. I think it's time that we don't charge as much for our building impact fees for single-family homes. And so I think it's time that we look at that fundraising equation and get that cost out of housing. On a larger level, it's vital that the state of California has a housing census. And this is something that we do talk about with when we are at our League of California Cities. We're not making progress there. But we have to know in more detail what's going on in the housing market in California. It's just that simple. Now, a lot of people are scared of that because it oftentimes can lead to some sort of taxes, maybe a vacancy tax like in British Columbia. We're not there yet, but we got to know more. We got to know more information. We got to make it more affordable to build, and we have to keep working together. And it's going to be a long road. So, but I'm committed to every single baby step that we can do because we have to. I mean, it's just the only option.
Now, you mentioned what is a housing census? What is that?
Well, as a state, as a greater Sacramento region, we just don't know the makeup of who owns what houses, right? So how many homes do corporations own in the greater Sacramento area? How many second homes were bought after COVID? We don't need to incriminate anyone. We don't need to point fingers, but we just have to know what our housing stock is made up of, so that we can make decisions moving forward, right? So what's the rental market health? How many rentals are out there? Are they so we just need to have that information, and that is That's nothing new. That's what housing advocates are calling for at the state level, and we need to bang on that drum hard. We got to get there. So
let me ask you then. Now take another topic: the economy. Everybody's complaining about they go to the store and the price of eggs. You know, I mean, I'm pulling just things you read on the paper. You know,
yeah.
What do you think you guys can do as a city council on that? Anything?
Well, and the price of eggs have gone up, haven't they?
Well, along with everything else.
Yeah. We can continue to foster our economy. We can continue to put our local vendors in a position for success. So Pioneer Community Energy is an example. We can, in the era of inflation, we held those electric bills just ever so slightly lower. Mm-hmm. We can do the type of work that we did on Mill Street so that there are more jobs, and so that people come to our area to spend their money, to shop, to create, to foster that job growth. In Grass Valley, we're working on bringing our green waste costs down. We're hoping, we've been working with the developer to bring a cheaper green waste solution to town so that someone in town will get rid of our green waste more affordably than we currently have as an option. And in doing so, we hope that it'll have an impact on home insurance. So every time that we give someone a cheaper ability to maintain their property so that a home insurer doesn't raise their price, we think we're putting our people in a better place.
Okay. So. Which brings us into infrastructure. I know your last meeting, there was a discussion about some land that the city was going to get for free. And one of the things that was going to go on a part of it was a biomass plant. Would that play a part in the getting rid of green waste cheaper?
That's right. And that's what I'm talking and referring to. Mm-hmm. And so that biomass facility is potentially very exciting. We have a developer, West Biofuels out of Davis, who burns green waste in a very high-tech manner, very clean, no smoke, no pollutants. They turn it into green electricity. They'll create jobs locally, and they think they can do it for cheaper than the options that we have on the table currently. So we'll be saving money. Our tree contractors, our loggers, even our homeowners won't have to pay as much to take their green waste down the hill, and we'll be using it to do good things here in town.
You can do it cheaper than they are doing it at the transfer station.
That's right. And the transfer station still has a vital role to play, but the transfer station, they then have to take that and they have to ship it to Lincoln, I think, currently, and where there's a similar facility. And so, that just all adds up. So,
well, and that playing right into infrastructure, besides the plans for that biomass plant, what other kinds of infrastructure improvements are you looking at or being able to do?
That's a good question. We have, in the city limits of Grass Valley, we have a really exciting project on the horizon with the Wolf Creek Trail extension. So city staff, Bjorn Jones, Tim Kieser, successfully applied for a state grant. And they were awarded it recently for $13 million to take that Wolf Creek Trail from its existing location on Allison Ranch Road, take it through town all the way to Brunswick Road. So add a couple, I think 2 to 3 miles of trail. And now it's the type of infrastructure that is really cool, right? It's not something that will necessarily lead to new jobs overnight. Right, it's not, but it's something that improves our walkability. More kids will be able to ride to school on it. More of us will be able to hop on our e-bike and ride downtown and have dinner out. So it underwrites our economy, and it connects us, and that's important, and it's really exciting.
Well, good.
So, yeah.
What other kind of infrastructure things are you doing? I mean, I know you have the Measure. Let's see, I get my letters mixed up, but the Measure E money for repaving streets, and
that's right.
Did I get that one right?
You did. That's a great important point. We have a consistent source of sales tax that we use to repave our streets. I don't know the exact number, and every year we have a list of streets. Many of our residents know them quite well, right? That are ready, that need that need some love, that need some maintenance. And so we're busy every year. I think we spend at least a couple $1,000,000 a year repaving as many streets as we can with that set of income, and we need it, and it's good for our town. So we also have Measure B, which is a new sales tax, which is primarily related to fire prevention and fire service. And so we're excited to start rolling that out, related to some of the wildfire mitigation plan that you talked about earlier tonight. We're excited to start protecting our community with some land maintenance, clearing brush, and again working with our partners at Nevada County and Nevada City, looking at those high-risk areas, doing mastication, as well as making sure that we have enough staffing in our fire stations to take care of our community in an emergency.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this then: how do we think we can think outside of the box? Well, let me back up. And I talked to you earlier about this, so I'm not surprising you with something. There was an article in the Grass Valley Union, I don't know, a month ago, was it? You're familiar with what I'm talking about. That you had made some comments about, well, for the past year or better, there's been several people at every council meetings advocating for a resolution for a ceasefire in Gaza, which a lot of people will go, what does Grass Valley have to do with Gaza? You know, like, is anybody going to care what this little small town cares or says? Right or wrong, that's, you know, something. But then you were quoted as saying you wish you had brought that resolution forward, and then I've never seen anything more about it. I understand from like fifth or sixth hand that you had said that's not what I said or something. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to maybe come out and give it. Nobody's ever wrote your side of the story, so I wanted to see your side of the story here, what it's about.
I appreciate that, and thank you. And I don't know that I was misquoted too much. I can't. I'd have to read the story again already.
That's what happens when you get older. Your memory goes, you know.
That's right. But the basic gist of it was correct. That you're right. Right. We're not going to change the outcome of that conflict. But it's come to my realization that having that community conversation still is a legitimate thing for our citizens, and I want to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge that a lot of people in our community care about it, and that's really the tactful resolution that I just want to finish with.
Okay.
And that's all. You know, we're never going to fully understand the history of that part of the world, and it's complicated, right? But what my community, on either side of the political spectrum, I think we all admit that it's turned into a travesty. It's turned into a disaster, and so that's really all I wanted to finish that conversation with my constituents, with the people of Grass Valley. Is that, for the most of us, I think we are all on the same page. Mm-hmm. It's a bad situation, and it affects some people in this community. Maybe not firsthand, right? But it affects some of them, and let's just leave it right there.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I know that there was the article in the paper, and then there was a local columnist that's in the paper. I think he's on a weekly basis that made some sort of comment that well, you waited till after the votes were in before you know what the one I'm talking about. And I just wanted to see what your opinion was. There'd never been any rebuttal or another side to the story, so to speak. It's like, what is that? Paul Harvey used to say, and that's the rest of the story.
Right.
Well, that's what I was wanting to get from you, and I wanted to warn you, let you know ahead of time, before I asked you. I don't want to surprise anybody with anything.
Oh, that's good. I appreciate it, and no problem. And yeah, the timing on my part wasn't. I don't think that was in the best set of circumstances for everyone, yeah. But. I feel that's also neither here nor there. I think, if anything, the conversation around the national election just cemented that what we really need out of our local politicians is for them to be as straightforward as possible. And that's kind of what led me to be a little more frank about the conversation.
Right.
And so I'm okay with that. If that upsets someone that I did after the election, I apologize, and I can't control that.
Yeah.
So.
You're never. One thing I think, being on the city council, you're never going to make everybody happy. That's just not going to happen.
That's right.
It'll be a miracle whenever you figure out how to do that. Please, let's bottle it and pass it out. And now, how can we think outside the box to help achieve all that that we need to make our city function and improve the items that are needed? How can citizens help and think outside the box, so to speak?
That's a great question. Well, and maybe I don't have the best answer for it. What makes our community great is participation, and I do think we have more citizen involvement than a lot of places. But things like Nevada County Media, even our local Master Gardeners, our Rotary Club, our Native Sons of the Golden West, our Daughters of the American Revolution, our Donation Day Parade, we have a tight-knit community, and that's amazing. Now, everyone is welcome to come and ask that question directly at City Council, right? I would say each and every person, there's always more room for you to come to City Council and figure out how we can all do things better. So, because we really don't get a whole lot of that sometimes. So I would say that we got our work cut out with us in the future with our small issues, whether that's building more Firewise communities, whether that's being better neighbors, whether that's making sure our kids are doing what we need to be successful in our school system. So I would say let's continue to build that fabric of our community, and just and that's what makes it great for me, and that's why I love playing my small role in City Council.
Good deal. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add? Throw it out there. This is your chance to rock and roll.
I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad.
I think we all do that.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming in here and talking to us.
I appreciate it.
And your candidness and everything with it. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, folks, thank you for watching this edition of Nevada County Now. If you'd like to help contribute or write stories, appear on a show, or even become a host, please check out the details on our website at nevadacountymedia.org/ncn. And remember, this program is local news and information brought to you by local residents. Remember to stay safe, take care of each other, and get out there and explore all this community has to offer. All right, good evening now.